So I was watching this video about this guy called Brett King, and he said, "What if this is all there is?" And my response is, you have to be patient. You have to have patience, and you have to let science do the work. There's a lot of planets out there, and most might not have life, and a few might. So if there's a few out there, like there's going to be a few out there. You have to be patient. We don't have a rocket ship. We can't time travel. But with science and technology, we might have a rocket ship to go to other planets. I saw this video. This girl says we should live on the sun. The problem with the sun, it's very hot out there. But don't get me wrong. Fraser Cain says we can terraform anything. Any planet, even a black hole. Live on a black hole. So my response is to believers, you have to wait and be patient. Um, and that's why believers are becoming atheists. They're waking up and says, well, they're like, well, this Jesus guy, he's just not coming down. I mean, we've been waiting, like, what, millennia? Centuries? And you have to be patient. Let science do the work to find out the mysteries of the universe and us. And that's why people are turning to believers to atheists, because they're waiting for this Jesus character and all the failed prophecy. We were supposed to die 2012, right? Supposed to die on 2012. We're still here. We're supposed to die on the blood moon. We're still here. We were supposed to die. The world was still supposed to die so many times, and we're still here. So the prophecies and raptures are false. It's not a supernatural thing. Even though it's unknown, it's not supernatural. It's just unknown. Unknown science, unknown stuff we don't know. We found recently we die, our consciousness still remains. It's not a supernatural realm, it's a technological realm. Our brain is a computer. It's like a computer, or it is a computer. You know? And we did scans of the universe and the brain, and guess what? They look similar. So is the universe a bigger brain? Maybe. Is it run by like a super entity? Maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe it's run on its own. Maybe that's where the technology is so advanced out there. If you think we're the only ones in the cosmos, there's a technology so advanced out there in the cosmos that they have stuff we can't even imagine or comprehend to a stance. We're just ants to them, like Chicago says. So we just have to be patient. Um, just be patient. And maybe, in 20 years from now, we can live on different planets, you know, because we're finding new telescopes 2016, 2018, and planning to nuke Mars, Musk says, and so you have to be patient. Maybe the old people will not be able to see that day, if it's going to be 20, 30 years from now, but the young people will. I will. And the old people will apparently die in their delusion of a god, which will never be, who just die and just be worm food. Yeah, the truth is harsh. We all want the super afterlife, but not everybody wants the heaven afterlife, because, one, you have to worship that god like 24/7. If you don't, you're going to burn your ass. Not everybody likes worship. So, and not everybody can believe in heaven and hell. So, what about, it's like the agnostics? Apparently, if you're Christians, they're going to go to hell. And agnostics are like, well, they don't know if there's a God. They don't, like, worship, but they're like, they can or can. So, and especially the other religions, they're going to go to hell because they're following the wrong God. So it's like God made it an entrance for everybody for hell, and not give an opportunity, because obviously he doesn't show himself. And the truth of the matter is, the universe doesn't care about us. It really doesn't. We can get wiped out anytime. There's nobody controlling the universe. The scientists are the ones that finding out where the asteroids are coming. We're finding out the asteroids all the way to 2096. So if you want a savior, you better stick with the scientists, because those are the only ones that can help you with technology and prevent us from being killed from asteroids and meteors, if you want to call it a savior. So, all I'm saying is, believers are giving up, they're waking up, because they've been wanting this Jesus character to come to the sky. They want the rapture and prophecies, and they're like, what if there is no Jesus? What if there is no God? And they start thinking, and they're like, I just don't believe in this no more, and and then they just either going to become atheists or agnostics or a deist or maybe a pantheist, a different form of a belief, but not a theist belief anymore. And obviously the really people that really study science understand how universes can't come from nothing with low-level energy and virtual particles, which is an empty space, can form universes out of nothing, are atheists. The ones that really study the science hard. And I don't understand why people would feel lonely if we're like the only one, because one, we have each other, and two, there's technology and science to help us and make the world better. So I don't see how you could feel lonely. Like I said, not everybody appeals to the afterlife. Not everybody wants an afterlife. So I just say, just accept what it is. Don't be scared. We're always going to have the unknown, like Matt Honey says. The unknown will always be around us, and fear. But you don't have to fear, because just accept, be honest with yourself and says, whatever this is it. I mean, if the supernatural exists, so be it. You do not have to live your life in fear, of a God that's going to punish you eternally. And then there's different ways to define God. Some people think that God is immaterial. Well, that's fine. If God's immaterial, then it can't judge you and it can't send you to hell, and more likely there's no heaven because it can't talk. It's not material. So I don't think anybody should live their life in fear. Everybody should just enjoy their life. And like I said, it's ridiculous for a God to punish you eternally, because number one, He never made it shown to the people. That's just fucked up statistic. So you have to reason out logically and rationally, and when you think about all this in account, it just doesn't make any sense for that God to exist. At least the God in the Bible, or at least a religious God. Maybe another God, maybe a God of no religion, but that still doesn't make any sense either, because what the hell is He doing? And that God is non-existent, and that God more than likely is not a God. It's probably like a super entity, like Richard Dawkins says. It's probably like a super entity that maybe died or something, and maybe made us or something. There's a lot of mysteries we don't know. Or maybe we weren't made by a super entity. Maybe we were just evolved. Everything evolved, the cosmos and everything. So, and then some people think God is the universe is God. Well, which is it? The God is the universe, or the universe is God? But we know gods can't create the universe, because where do you find out by science that virtual particles in empty space can make universes themselves? No God needed it. So, I think science is going to really, as it keeps on advancing, 20, 30 years from now, really, really going to put the foot in the God, and the believers are just, they won't be able to find a way to make sense of it, because the evidence will be too overwhelming. Probably multiverses explained by them, and who knows, we'll find aliens by then, and then it'll be very hard for them to keep their faith and belief, because it's just going to be too advanced for them to comprehend, to make sense of it. They can't cherry pick anything anymore. I mean, it's just and the ones who do are the most religious, or they're going to be so delusional, because some of those you can't help, and since society's becoming more atheist, they're going to be less believers, and that's going to be the majority would be non-believers. Like I said, they might stray a different path than theism, but the theism is not going to hold much, because that they can't hold much anymore, because the majority will say, this this is really the theism no more. Only the ones maybe that hold on to the theism would be the super religious, like the super brainwashed. So, um, so don't put your foot down like Brett King says. Well, this is all there is. We don't know that. There could be stuff out there. Could be other people like us, another Earth. We found why time moves forwards, and there's another universe where time moves backwards. So don't don't listen to him say, I don't understand what's the big deal with the afterlife. I mean, if you live your life the fullest you can, and technically you don't really have to die anymore with you can have nanobots and you can just keep on living. Science is getting to the point where we can be immortal, keep on living. So the afterlife would be non-existent. But I never even understand why people want an afterlife, because if I say just live the life the best and happiest as you can, because the opinion of afterlife has problems with it. You have to worship that God. If it's the God of the Bible 24/7, not everybody wants to worship. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make any sense. And and besides, reading a book doesn't produce pictures and images. It's just in your mind. You could pray to, you can make I can make up a book of religion, and I can say you pray to this God, and I can have it all poetic and stuff, and you would go to this magical heaven, or a super space heaven, or whatever. Or whatever. I mean, you could read and believe. It doesn't make anything, and that's why it's called faith. That's what faith is: belief without evidence. So I couldn't understand how people could do that. How could you believe in something with no evidence? I mean, it's just I couldn't believe in the delusion. I think the reason why, and there's some psychology behind this, is because people are scared of the truth. They don't want to believe in the truth. They don't want to believe in the unknown. They want to believe in the fairy tales, because everyone wants to have a happy life, you know. But not everybody can believe in the delusion of fairy tale. That's what you're talking about, delusion. And God's not great. Hitchens, So I wouldn't put my foot and say this is all there is, because we don't know. Believers are not patient. You have to be patient. You have to let science do the work. And we have to keep on making technology so we can visit other places in the universe and other planets we find, and evolve from there. And when we get to there, we'll say, this is not all there is. There is much more out there. You just have to be patient. Peace out, guys.